Hello students, good afternoon and welcome to our math class today. We are continuing our lesson from the previous week that is about handling data. You've already studied about how you can handle certain data, how you can interpret it. But now the question is, if you have a raw data, if you do your own survey, if you do your own research and you have your own raw data and you have to prepare a frequency table or a tally table, how are you going to make your frequency table? In this lesson, we're going to handle a raw data and put it into a frequency table. In our frequency table, we're going to combine with that of a tally table so that it's going to make the counting very easy for us, okay? So first of all, we have these numbers, okay? These are set of numbers. And these numbers can be of ages or can be of a size of a shoe, or it can be numbers related to a particular survey that you did. So let's assume that these numbers are about ages of a certain children that we have. So we're going to do our frequency table to know how the whole picture will show about the ages of these kids. So the first thing that you have to know is that your data is about age, okay? Okay, so if your data is about age, then it means the item that you are dealing with becomes age. So you have to put age here. So age becomes your first item. The next item that you have to put on your table becomes tally, okay? Because we're going to use tally to do the population or do the tabulation of it, okay? The next thing is that we are doing a frequency table. So your frequency has to be here. Okay, so we have your frequency. Now you have to set a range for the age that you're going to deal with, because the age are mixed up. You have 5, you have 4, 1 and 3 and 2 mixed up. So what is the range that you can set for yourself so that you can actually present your data in a very nice way for anyone to interpret? Okay, so we're going to say that ages 1 to 2 will take this column, okay? And then the next column we can say that 3 to 4 will also take this column. And then the next one we say 5 to 6 will also take this column. Okay, so now we've set the ranges for our age, so we can go ahead straight away and do our tally and then get our frequency. So the first thing that we're going to do is that we're going to do the tally from the raw data, and what we get from our tally, that will be equal to the frequency as well. So now we're going to look for the age range between 1 and 2. So 1 to 2. So we can find 1 here. We find 2, so making 3. So when you find this one, in order not to confuse you, you have to make your tally mark. Okay, so we make one tally mark for this one, and then this 2 will also have a tally mark here. The next 2 will also have another tally. We have 1 here, that will also have another tally. Okay, so we have 4. This becomes the 5th one. So with the 5th one, you have to cross your tally like this. That means we have 5 kids within the age bracket of 1 and 2. Okay, so 1 and 2, we have 5 kids. That means 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so the frequency will be 5. The frequency and the tally are always the same. Now we go to the age bracket of 3 and 4. Okay, so we have 4 here. We make our mark. We have another 4. We make another mark. 4, 3. Okay, so we have 4 sets already. And then the 5th one, you cross. Is there any other 4? Okay, so we don't see 4 or 3. Okay, so we have 3 here. So that becomes here. So we have 6. So our frequency becomes 6. The frequency and the tally are always equal. We use marks for tally and we use numbers for frequency, okay? So now let's look for ages 5 and 6. We have 1, and then we have another one here, and then we have 1, 5 here. So this becomes 3, okay? So students, this is how our frequency table is going to look like after we have done all the checks and we put them into our frequency table. The age brackets of 1 to 2, we have 5 kids. 3 to 4, we have 6 kids. And 5 to 6, we also have 3 kids over there, okay? So anytime you have a raw data, this is how you can set your frequency table, and then your data is always going to be nice and easy for you to work around it. Okay, so we'll move quickly to our first activity on this video. That will be task 1. It will be posted to you through the Telegram group for you. It's going to be about how you can create your own frequency table. I'll see you in the second video. Hello students, welcome back to our second video on our topic handling data. On this video we have a set of pictogram that we're going to use the pictogram to answer some few questions. So what you see here is a pictogram. A pictogram is a table that uses pictures or uses images to represent a data that has been collected, okay? So in this pictogram we have the names of the individuals that did an exams. So these are the scores that they had. So first, when you have a pictogram, the first thing that you have to do is you have to look for the key of your pictogram. Sometimes the key can be written up or it can be written at the bottom of your pictogram. So in this situation we have the key for our pictogram at the bottom here. So it says that for every star or every image that you see of this one, let's say it's a star, it represents 10 marks, okay? So once we have the key explaining that for every key or star that you find here, it represents 10 marks, it means that that is the key or that is the instruction that you're going to use to interpret your pictogram that you have, and that will help you to answer all the questions that you need to answer. Before you move to the questions and come back to your data, there's one thing that I will also advise you always to do with your pictogram. I will always encourage you or advise you that once you have your pictogram, try to know the total of the frequency or the pictures or the items that you are dealing with. That will help you to answer your questions always very easy. Okay, so let's see what Sarah is having. So Sarah is having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, so if she is having 9, it means we have to multiply by 10 because the key says 10 marks for 1 star. Okay, so that means Sarah will be having 90. So we can write 90 here just to guide us on our questions when we get to our questions, okay? Okay, so Zara is having 2 and you multiply by 10 and that is going to give you 20, okay? So Zara is having 20. And then let's look what Ali is having. Ali is having 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So Ali is having 50, okay? Mary is having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That means Mary is having 100, okay? Gabriel is having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? So Gabriel is having 60. And then Ahmed is having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Ahmed is also having 60 marks as well. So this is the first thing that I advise students to do, so that you know the actual picture of your pictogram that you are working with, that you know that Sarah got 90, Zara got 20, Ali got 50, Mary got 100, and then Gabriel got 60, and Ahmed got 60. Now we can go to our question, and then we relate it to the pictogram that we have. So our first question says that, how many marks did Ali get? Okay, so if you go back to your pictogram, this is Ali, so you already wrote 50 here, so that helps you and makes it very easy for you to say Ali got 50 marks. Okay, so that becomes very easy and straightforward for you. Who got 100 out of 100 marks? So if you look at your pictogram, Mary got 100, so it becomes easy. So you see Mary, because the question says who, okay, so you write Mary. Okay, so she got 100. Who got 10 less than 100 marks? That means that person was left with 10 to hit 100, but was short by 10. So Sarah was short by 10 to hit 100. So it says who, that means a person. So we say Sarah. Okay, so this is how you can always use your pictogram to answer questions that follows. If it's about who, you are mentioning a person. If it's about how many, it means you are doing with the marks or the points that you always need to do. Okay, so thank you for joining this section. Your second task will be posted to you through the group for you to solve, and I'll see you in the third video. Students, welcome back to our third video, which is our final video on this lesson. As you know, the lesson has been on how to handle data, and we have gone through the first stage. That was how you can make your own frequency table and make your tally table when you have your raw data. Our second video was also about how we can use a pictogram to answer some questions when we have questions about a pictogram. Okay, so these are the pros and cons of handling data, and I believe that you have enjoyed your class with me and you have really understood what and how you can deal with handling data, and you also know the difference between a frequency and that of a tally. Okay, and you should always be mindful that the value or your tally is always equal to that of the frequency when you are dealing with the same records. I would like to say a very big thank you to all of you for joining class and participating, and I'll see you again next week. Goodbye.